Katy Perry is cooked. You know who she is, of course. She was a massive pop star for like 15 years or so, but now she's fizzled out. Her last album bombed miserably. She's being fired from Vegas. Nobody wants to watch her residency. Her tour is bombing. And now she's got some, I think it's a stunt. Her bra popped off on her show, but I don't really care all that much about Katy Perry. I care to talk about two things: the development of decentralized media and the lack of human beings. Now, the first thing I'll say is we're all bored by woke pop garbage. Katy Perry put out this song called Woman's World, where she's Rosie the Riveter, and we all threw up in our mouths a little bit. Yeah, nobody wanted to watch that, and so they didn't. And it bombed miserably. Her last album doesn't even appear on her YouTube page because the views are so low. Now, I mean, like when you look at the popular songs, it's crazy how many big hits she had, and now she's gone. But I'll tell you why. There's two big reasons. Decentralization of media allows people to find whatever songs they want, so centralized pop stars are waning. Beyonce reportedly had trouble selling tickets as well. They were reporting that she was selling tickets for like $20. Stadiums couldn't sell them out. The response we got from a lot of people was, yeah, but hold on. Sabrina Carpenter is a big star, and she's selling out, right? She's selling out arenas. Smart move. Sabrina Carpenter, of course, a big pop star. Not as many people are familiar with her as they are, say, Katy Perry. But ain't nobody listening to Katy Perry no more. Sabrina Carpenter had that big hit, Espresso, and she had a couple others. But she's doing arenas, which could be 10,000 seats, maybe 20,000 if it's big, whereas stadiums could be like 60 to 90,000. Katy Perry, Beyonce, and some of these big stars, Taylor Swift, they used to sell these out. They're not doing it so much anymore. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not just decentralization of media. There's no kids. There's no babies. Gen Alpha is 40 million people. And that means up like 0 to 10 years old, I think, or like maybe 13 years old. What are they doing? They're saying it's from 2012, so like 13-year-olds. That's Gen Alpha. Only 40 million. Yo, it's wild, man. People are always asking, like, what happened to the McDonald's play place? People don't have kids. They used to put the play place in the McDonald's because parents were like, what are we going to do with the kids? Well, when we go to McDonald's to get food, they can play in the playground while we eat. And we'll keep an eye on them, but they'll play and do their thing. Nobody has kids anymore, so they stopped building it. How come pizza doesn't have family restaurants anymore? Remember the old pizza? You'd go in there and there was Book It and there was the salad bar. People don't have kids anymore. So the market is adapting. It's becoming more expensive to have kids because there's less services provided because people don't have kids. And then you got no young people to go to these shows. The other thing I'll mention too is, it's kind of wild to me. There's two thoughts here. Have we really, has there ever been a fall off of a pop star so big, so quickly? I mean, maybe. Did bands ever really last that long? Why would anybody want to go see Katy Perry? She's like a millennial pop star. Gen Z is not going to be as interested in that. Here's where it gets crazy. I made some predictions. Maybe my predictions were wrong, but I'm standing by them still to a certain degree. Because Beyonce is actually selling tickets, and a lot of them are going for like $100, so she's still there. They did the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and it was like Eminem and other 90s stars, and people were like, yo, it's millennials. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Katy Perry flopped miserably because she's not good. Like the latest stuff she put out is cringe woke garbage, or Rosie the Riveter. Nobody wanted to watch. But I do believe we're going to see this phenomenon where millennials are a bigger generation. Millennial and Gen Z is bigger than Gen Alpha. Meaning that whole joke from The Simpsons where Abe is like, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. And now what it is scary to me. And it'll happen to you. It's not going to happen. Gen Alpha and Gen Z are not big enough demographics to fund these big stadium and arena tours. However, it will be fleeting as well. Millennials don't care to go see old Katy Perry garbage. They're starting to have kids now. So there's this weird gap. I don't know what millennials are doing, to be honest. Maybe they're just broke and they can't afford houses. But the money ain't with Gen Z. So here's where I think I was wrong. I thought what was going to happen is that they were going to keep pandering to millennials and not introduce new celebrity stars because the younger generation doesn't have it. Let me put it this way. If you want to sell out a venue, let's say you have 1,000 seats, you can book Eminem or you can book Wizwaz Superflame. And you're going to be like, I don't know who Wizwaz is. Eminem, everybody knows. Your marketing guy is going to be like, listen, Wizwaz, he's like the biggest Gen Alpha star right now. And you're going to go, okay, well, there's only 40 million Gen Alpha. So if I want to sell out, why don't I go to a bigger market? You know, like, look, if you want to start an ice cream company that makes broccoli flavored ice cream, you got to ask yourself, what's my market share? Well, the share of people who would eat broccoli and asparagus flavored ice cream is probably real small. There's a company that makes mustard ice cream. I'm not joking. And people buy it as a gag. I can't imagine they're making money hand over fist. Chocolate. Chocolate, on the other hand, man, that sells nonstop. That's like the flavor, right? Chocolate and vanilla. Vanilla is probably the best because people use that as a base. So let's say you're a venue and you're like, listen, there's 80 million millennials, 80 million Gen Z. They all know Eminem. Gen Z less so. Millennials more so. Now, this Gen Z star, Wizwaz, millennials have no idea who he is. So if we want to sell tickets, we got to go with Eminem. Duh. He's a bigger star. So this means it's going to be very difficult for younger celebrities to emerge and younger pop stars to get a footing. Sabrina Carpenter, as I mentioned, is big, but she's doing arenas. She's at her prime right now. She's doing arenas. She's getting massive play. Arenas. That's really good, but that ain't stadiums. Metallica used to do stadiums. They still kind of do. This is my point. There's a lot of bands that are still big. Metallica, for instance, still doing stadiums and doing well. Beyonce still doing well. When the younger stars aren't doing so well. They're not doing as big. There's not enough people to buy into it. So here's what I see happening. So Katy Perry, this is the story. I mean, I told you it basically. She's got fired from her residency. Her ticket sales were garbage. She's gone. She's got this wardrobe malfunction. This is a story that I saw where I was like, yeah, let's bring this up. Basically, like her bra, her bra, she's 40, by the way. Her bra popped off and she was like, oh no. And I think she did it on purpose. I think it was a stunt. I think they intentionally made it so that her bra would pop off and she'd get press. Yo, this is a wild scenario. I went to her YouTube channel and I started looking for her most popular songs. 11 years ago, she had Roar. All these Dark Horse, Last Friday Night, these have billions of views. It's crazy. She's got 8 songs over 1 billion views. Yo, but where's her new music? Hot and Cold, 16 years ago, 1.3 billion years. She's got Bon Appetit, 1.3 billion, 8 years ago. That's not that long ago. We're talking 2017. I mean, time's flying. A lot of her real big songs, of course, were a while ago, but she's got some big hits from the past few years, 7, 8 years. There's 5 years ago, 183 million views. Ain't bad. 5 years ago, 160 million. 6 years ago, 157 million. So it wasn't as big as her billion hits, but she was still a pop star. All of her songs from like 7, 8 years ago did decently well with hundreds of millions of views. Yo, where's her latest songs? I ain't kidding. I'm scrolling. This is like all of her popular songs. I'm scrolling down. Oh, I can't find them. 9 months ago. There it is. Lifetimes. There we go. Okay. 9 months ago. Yo, this is big. It's got 13 million views. Hey, it ain't bad. 13 million. But I kind of want to point out from a lady who was getting billions. Yo, we put out a song that got like 10 million views. Timcast as a gag. Whatever. We got it for different reasons. We're not pop stars or anything. We put out a gag video. Women's World, 20 million views 10 months ago. Yo, that's miserably bad. 10 months ago. Nobody wanted it. Take a look. This is funny. With Women's World, Katy Perry tries unsuccessfully to escape from the 2010s, and she did not succeed. They said that she's been teasing or perhaps threatening the general public with her single for weeks. Wow, they hate her. She's Rosie the Riveter getting half a dozen jade rollers in the face, sure, because everything in Perry's world feels forced. There's a shot of 2 guys kissing for no apparent reason. Woke pop is dead, man. This cringe garbage it's not working anymore. That narrative machine ain't working anymore. So I don't know exactly what's happening. But I'll tell you this. Millennials don't care as much to go to these concerts. I got to be honest. I think what's getting really big for a lot of people is outdoors stuff. Van life was popular for a while. There's some dude who's got like 15 million subscribers and he's like retiring from doing outdoor content. And he's like, in the last year, I've gained like 10 million subs. And he's like, it's too much for me. I think millennials are basically saying like, leave me alone. They're getting old and they're ready to chill. There's not enough Gen Z to support someone like Katy Perry. And so these older individuals who are failing, they ain't going to make it. I don't know. Let me do this. I want to look up Houdini by Eminem Because I like that song. I actually, I'm a big, I like Eminem.
Hey,
Check this out. This is the comparison we'll do. This is Houdini by Eminem that came out 11 months ago. It's got 235 million views. I really like the song. He samples Abracadabra by Steve Miller Band. It's cultural commentary. He's talking about himself. He's mocking woke young people. The video's actually pretty funny. 235 million views. So I don't know, man. I'm just saying, I think like the woke stuff is cringe. I think younger people are shifting right. I think liberals are doomed, to be honest. They don't have kids. They got nothing to sell to anybody. Who's Katy Perry trying to pander to? Like, this is the crazy thing about the Rosie the Riveter stuff. Read the room. Women are going to the right. You got Candace Owens and Brett Cooper. They call it the womanosphere. House and Habit. You've got these female personalities, these influencers who are like, be moms. And Katy Perry saying, go work in a machine shop and make missiles. Yeah, no. No. So we'll see, man. I don't know. It's hard to predict. Sometimes we look at this stuff and it feels like it should be easy to predict, but what can I say? I don't know. All I can tell you is that Katy Perry's cooked. She got fired. I'm going to leave it there, my friends. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. I'm going to be out the next couple of days, but the show will go on. The morning live show on Rumble will be hosted by Libby Emmons, and Phil will be handling Timcast IRL for today and tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I got a big trip. If y'all didn't see the Tim and Adam Conover conversation, I recommend you check it out. It's massive. It's got 600, 700,000 views, plus millions of views across all the clips that are going viral. And so, sometimes you got to go debate these libs. And so that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be out of town. Big trip. But I do appreciate it. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you all in the next segment when I get back.